we'll just beat our drum here to let our spiritual frenemies know that we mean business. And okay. Greetings with great things, Luminaughts. This message of the holy fires of mass information and mass communication, now spreading throughout the sweep of this planet and most likely beyond, may be thoroughly under investigations for considerations in support of comprehensive intuitions guiding instincts at work in the realms of logic and reason. As ghosts unto reformations of Hawking radiations of the spearing ritual root workings in cyclical ceremony seasoning a perpetually falling and rising hierarchy of morality, being in the study of morose realities, encoded onto the annals of Akash, for awash in the cleansing we of us are hereby bathing, in day and or night, in soul refreshment spiriting through our blood, flesh and bone. If in you may be pleased to please, keep in mind, I am a channel of the energies coursing through this vessel's capacitors with an instinct to call in acknowledgments for the preserving and persevering natures unto mine own self in equal exchange and or pending for balancing quality control intents beyond folly, for the spiritual justice of soul fuel void of that static freeze within the growing drift, as such for much to match spark for spark or shard of mirroring shattered in the prismathema to eclipse epic era of this heart's earlier days, we had to gain loss to purchase for single drops on tablatures of that punch bowl in masquerade as the colloquial "don't drink the electric Kool-Aid" that brought about such parties celebrating a healthier way than those traversing what Salem has of historical lot. So of this session's further navigating, proceed at your own risk beyond investment. Moving around the way, long and or short of it, to the midway as thespians who've chose in our audience to remain chosen, you're welcome to gather helpings at your adjustments of stagecraft to get your gots for comfort zones to oasis, free of whatever mirage we of us discipline to all get out us there. The fear you may presently have should, other than trap your inner Merlin in crystallized deer in the headlights scenarios here and there. You may now, or when tomorrow and again gain map to thaw, to comprehend your next eddy in the currents we are churning in this navigation. As this narration is now culminating from its tributaries where a river kisses the sea for a fuck around and find out or sail on to another ocean. Opening narration now closing for the curtain call and opening to the live, unscripted performance by and by through one or more of way about whom we of us are sovereign. And now that oh no, that's for later. Okay, so we'll cut that out and get started. Okay, so I've got a kind of setup here. I've got my Athame in spirit, or Athame. I don't know how to pronounce it. Ritual knife dagger kind of thing. I've got that in spirit here and there in lucrative soul. So we've got spirit and lucrative soul together working, and we're going to be using lucrative soul today to manipulate this cleansing that we're starting here. So I'll go ahead and ring some bells and bring in some angels now that we've driven the demons of war away with our drum. And for some fairy folk. Hats off to the fairy folk, or on. Okay, so how am I going to go about doing this? Playing this by ear. Oh yeah, now I remember. So I'm going to take this here Jed rod, or whatever they're called. And what I'm asking you to do is any incongruous hues or saturations or chromas in your auricular reality are going to be ectoplasmically just kind of passed into this here ball here, this here crystal ball. Okay, that's the idea. And then we're going to use the lucrative soul Athame here to jump past any illnesses of your aura that you're concentrating into this crystalline prism here, and we'll transmute that ectoplasm through this here. I'm going to pick it up in a minute, but I'm just kind of wrapping your minds around the mold so we can have a nice mask once we're finished. And once so we're just concentrating it here, and when I pick this up, and we're going to pass it into this this onyx, black onyx ball, kind of representative of like what I've experienced, you know, as a miniature black hole that flew up into my nose like the most scariest bumblebee you could imagine. But we're going to imagine this is not a remote control black hole, but, you know, just a energetic portal. All right. So here, any pain or that you're aware of you can, you know, pass some of it here. Keep enough of it to keep you healing, to keep your mind like intermittently aware that you are in a healing process while living on Earth. You know, we're kind of all dying to live here. So, so yeah, now that we'll put this away, cleanse it with this citrine here. We'll put this down, and we've got ectoplasm, kind of the cameo of all elemental magics in spirit and anyway, mind. So this is the rose quartz Athame, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw this out here into the Athame, offer it to the angels that have been called to oversee this session, and then pass it through the ultimate filter. Okay. Hopefully that relieved us. I'm kind of really hot right now. Like, I'm like, woof, really warm. Okay. Whoa, I'm really sweating a little bit. That's okay. It's a good thing. Okay. Maybe I'll pause it here and cool down. And now that that cleansing instigation is wicking, I'll come back after I cool off and we'll do the 3-card spread reading we've got. I'll just give you a prep of what that is. Now that the cleansing instigation is wicking, we've pre-shuffled and pulled 3 cards for us in this session to share in resonance, or to cut away from synchronous harmonies should you find them at conflict with your intuitive flow. The first card may be representative of something and or circumstance, or our prana may have been allowing us to be unawares of, that we may do well to recognize in its usefulness in the here and now, precinct, as to bring future martyrdom to void. So what we have been, or other than seeing from our past, may be applied presently as a navigation instrument for the journey through our destiny. And then I've got the list of 3 cards that when I come back and have cooled off a bit, although, I'm feeling cool enough, so I'll just figure out what I did with those cards. Hold on a second. And I might clip this out and come back to it. Oh yeah, I put them in the book. Okay, they're bookmarked because I was going to use the book because it's easier for me, yeah? Okay, so someday I may get it on the fly, and who knows, be jumping all kinds of around to and from different spaces and time. Card number 1, what from the past, what is hidden about our past that could be useful for us now? What I had gotten was the 5 of Swords, defeat. And I'll just read from Gerd's book. Venus in Aquarius, fear of loss or defeat, fear of painful situations or experiences. The 5 of Swords are arranged in a pentacle which points downward. Equilibrium is lost. The pentagram standing on its head is outlined by drops of blood. Old wounds have been touched and bleed anew. The swords are curved, i.e., they are injured, out of harmony. Each sword's grip indicates a different aspect of this situation. The first represents the past. The sleeping snake shows that no renewal is happening. The downward pointing crown symbolizes lost awareness. The ram's horn shows that new impulses are lacking and nothing will be set in motion. And the seashell expresses the need for protection. Fear of defeat dominates the moment. It may be connected with relationships or more generally with the beginning of something which is of great importance to you. It is the fear of losing control, of experiencing the feeling that everything is slipping out of your hands. Aquarius is directed toward the future. The challenge is to make room for your own objectivity and clarity. Blue border. Despite the fear of defeat, looking beyond doubts with our hope as the light through the darkness of our doubts. The white in the center of the painting represents the bright spirit attempting to break through the power of fear. Indications. Drawing this card shows you that you are now ready to see your fear of defeat. Fear is irrational in nature, meaning it does not necessarily reflect the real situation. By recognizing this, you will set free all those energies which have been bound up in your fear. If you are afraid to see control slipping out of your hands, remember, the feeling that you are in control is an illusion. Seeing, understanding, accepting, and letting go of your fear will set you free. Question: what do you associate with the idea of defeat? Suggestion: write down the answer to the above question or share the answer with someone you trust. If old wounds are revealed, allow yourself to feel the pain. This is the only way for them to heal. Affirmation: I accept my fear and let it go. Okay, so some defeat in the past, or yeah, who knows how you interpret that. I've got my own sense of it myself. Okay, and the next card we had for card 2, what is the reason we were other than presently recognizing the piece of our history? So this history that was at peace within us, that's now been brought into the eye of the storm of the present moment. The card we had, how the reason or intuitive nature of that is the Ten of Wands, oppression. So the reason we were experiencing this defeat, like I said, it's how you interpret it. So I'm just going to read the book and allow whatever you brought from your past that you needed to see that you weren't seeing, and how that may why it was being oppressed or whatever. So if we've got oppression, Saturn in Sagittarius, repressed feelings, energy held back, parting, isolation, aggression. The vital energy of the Eight of Wands in the background represents it, and background is repressed and hindered by the two strong wands in the foreground, which carry the same symbols that appear on the Two of Wands. On that card, however, the wands are united and support each other, while these two stand separate next to one another, building a stark barrier. Sagittarian readiness to communicate is blocked by Saturn, and strong fear arises. If you fear rejection, disapproval, or punishment, you will begin to repress your own impulses. Repressed, these energies turn into irritation, rage, and violence. If this aggression finds no external outlet, you may turn it inward on yourself, and it may express itself as self-degeneration or depression in all its aspects, up to and including illness. This card is an invitation. Recognize and end your repression and restriction of your own life impulses. This is a step towards taking responsibility for yourself and freeing yourself from unjustifiable moral restrictions and limitations. Indication: whether you are consciously repressing yourself or not, recognize that there is much more which you would like to express, experience, enjoy, and celebrate. Dare. Question: there are some things you have always wanted to say to certain people. What are those things, and who are those people? You can, for the time being, just for yourself, express those things right now. Suggestion: you may draw another card asking the question, what will my life be like when I'm ready to free myself? Nice. Well, we got adjustment when we checked that, so that's pretty cool. I don't know what card you would pull, though, because anyway, you can take that one or pull your own. Affirmation: I have the right to follow my feelings and life impulses. Okay, and for the final card of how these like, what does it say? What did I say? It's like, what may the future hold for us if or as we bring this forth? So, you know, like it said, you can think of something you'd like to say to somebody, but whether or not we say that to them, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you're capable of recognizing that there are things you would say to people, and that future decision of yours is your own. So what may the future hold for us, depending how we bring this forth, right? Because we have adjustment here that we pulled. So keep that in mind, and don't be discouraged when I share the following card, but it'll have its own good teaching. We got the Three of Swords for our future. Saturn in Libra. Worries, doubts, lack of clarity, heaviness, depression, tension in three-sided relationships. Well, we can, you know, in our brother Jesus or whatever, we can maybe call that in and help bring balance by volition, like healthy volition, I guess. That's just my 2 cents. But anyway, so Saturn in Libra, worries, doubts, lack of clarity, heaviness, depression, tension in three-sided relationships. The central sword of clarity is being restricted by the two smaller swords. They are bent out of harmony. The rose is injured and drops its petals. Clarity has become diffused. Gloomy clouds of doubt, fear, or worry are limiting mind and soul. Saturn, a strict teacher, makes all impurities visible, blocks all comfortable avenues of escape. The lesson to be learned here is no less than the mastery of care and worry. A brooding, distrustful outlook must be recognized clearly as negative energy which separates us from our origins. This card can also relate to a tension-loaded three-sided relationship, and it is attempting in some way to explode or destroy it. This situation usually demands clear decisions. Any attempt to avoid making them causes sorrow and worry. The word that they came back with their drum. Okay. Indication. This card is a summons to make clear, unequivocal decisions. So, from the pre-saint here now, to avoid that martyrdom that we were talking about. Anyway, so yeah, this is summons to make clear, unequivocal decisions. Only in this way can the lost balance of Libra be regained. What decisions are difficult for you to make or face? Suggestion: use the tarot to reveal what your decisions are. See systems for using the cards. Working on that, right? Draw another card now and show what awaits you when you confront your problem. Oh, that's nice. We got virtue. So that's cool. I had no idea what those were going to be because these are the first three I pulled for the three-way from the pre-shuffle for the three-way here. It's funny how it's a three-way and we've got this problem with the three-sided relationships. I think it's kind of funny, guys. Anyway, the affirmation is every problem contains its own solution. So even a problem is a virtue then, you know, right? Okay, so we've got some clarity here. That was a good reading, guys. I'm kind of happy with it. Yeah, I'm down. I'm down for this recording. It's the bomb. I'm stoked on this recording. Okay. Thank you.